very good evening. Once again, thank you for joining us for the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and I'm going to be sharing with you the news for the next 1 hour, so do sit tight. Let's have a look at the headlines. Now, top stories tonight. President Museveni commends Ugandan scientist Dr. Mathias Magola for securing a cancer patent. Kabaka Cathedral Assistant Administrator Father Anthony Musala rallies Ugandans on love and forgiveness. And the Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II celebrates his 70th birthday. Furthermore, the Uganda under-17 national team, the Cubs, qualify for a FIFA World Cup tournament. And I do beg your pardon, the Ugandan scientist Dr. Mathias Magola secured a patent for cancer treatment. Thank you very much. And with that, let's start off our bulletin. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has commended Ugandan scientist Dr. Mathias Magola for securing a United States patent for cancer treatment, describing the achievement as a major milestone for Uganda's scientific advancement. The president made these remarks after meeting Dr. Magola, the founder and managing director of Day Biopharma Limited at State House, Entebbe, where the scientist briefed him on the successful patent and his company's ongoing efforts to manufacture life-saving drugs and vaccines. On his part, Dr. Magola informed President Museveni that the United States Patent and Trademark Office officially granted and published his patent on February 6, 2025. He mentioned that the patent covers a novel cancer treatment development over several years using guided RNA attached to the Cas9 protein and target to destroy the mutated genes responsible for cancer. He added that unlike existing FDA-approved gene editing therapies, his innovation is specifically tailored to treating all types and stages of cancer without harming healthy cells. He cited that his precision eliminates the severe side effects commonly associated with chemotherapy, antibody therapy, and radiation. Dr. Magola emphasized that the innovation has both medical and humanitarian significance, with a projected global cancer burden of 35 million cases annually by 2030. His treatment, designed to be simple and affordable, offers hope to millions, especially in developing countries. This intervention, he noted, represents a potential $300 billion market and will be produced at the upcoming multi-billion-dollar vaccine and drug manufacturing facility in Matuga near Kampala. And in more news, the Vice President, Major Retired Jessica Alupo, has appealed to the clergy to mobilize parishioners to embrace government initiatives that are aimed at increasing household incomes. Alupo said that religious leaders have regular contact with the believers, and this can be taken as an advantage to promote pro-poor government programs such as the Parish Development Model, Emyoga, the Grow Fund, Youth Livelihood Program, and the Uganda Women Empowerment Program. She made this call as she joined Christians of Our Lady of Snow's Virika Cathedral, Fort Portal in Kabarole district during the Holy Mass to celebrate Palm Sunday.
For his stewardship of our diocese and steering the programs in the church in connection with the government very well. I appreciate his leadership. But I would like to use this chance, if Lord Bishops allows me, to remind you that it is your responsibility to always respond promptly and expeditiously to all government programs. Government programs which are implemented here in Fort Portal are also implemented elsewhere in Uganda including universal primary education, universal secondary education, programs of livelihoods like PDM and Emioga, and many other programs, including those ones for health and other areas of safe water and water for production. So I call upon all of you to always be very vigilant in responding to and participating in the government programs. And I call upon all our religious leaders as well to be part of the advocates, to call upon especially the rural communities who may not have access to the radios, but they have access to the religious leaders, to always remind them about participating in government programs. Finally, Lord Bishop, I recognize that there are so many students in this ceremony. I see the girl children and I see the boy children. I want to encourage the girl children that now you are in the right place. First and foremost, I thank you for being in the right place. Thank you for choosing to be at school. That is the best destination for any Ugandan child who is of school-going age. I implore you to be God-fearing, to be hardworking, to be disciplined, and most importantly, to always accept to be guided. When you are still at that age, you are so energetic, you are so resourceful, but more often than not, it is that some age that sometimes has peer groups. Keep away from strikes. You be a solution where there is a problem. Always be a solution. Be a good example at all times. And the same message applies to the boy children. I am emphasizing to the girl children because I know that I was at one time in a school like yours, and I am now a role model to you. I am now a mentor to you, and I am here to say that your future is bright. With the establishment of peace and security now across Uganda, even the sky is not the limit for you. You are seated there, some of you are going to be astronauts. We are looking forward to scientists who will fly in the sky. Even the boy children, the same message applies to you. So be peaceful in your schools, follow what your teachers say, follow what your religious leaders say, and you will make it in life, because that's what we did. That's what I did. That's what that minister did. She was in the same school with me in Karamoja. Do you know Karamoja? I will come and take some of you to visit Karamoja. So all of you can make it in life, but first and foremost, do the right thing at the right time. Lord Bishop and all the people of God, I wish to announce that our being here today was specifically to share with you the prayers, the Holy Liturgy of Palm Sunday.
Iganga woman member of parliament Kauma Sauda has raised a concern of the mismanagement by the Iganga Lockup Owners Savings Circle, which allegedly embezzled over 800 million Ugandan shillings, part of it being PDM savings meant for women. This was during a belated Women's Day celebration held in Iganga at the Iganga Primary School, where the Prime Minister pledged 20 million shillings for the construction of a girls' hostel.
Prime Minister Robina Nabanja first interacted with students, where she pledged 20 million shillings to support the construction of the girls' hostel. She also promised to advocate for the establishment of a science laboratory at the school. The Prime Minister commended the people of Iganga for their resilience and urged them to embrace government programs. She called on the public to support the NRM party and vote again for President Yoweri Museveni in the 2026 elections, citing his contribution to maintaining peace in Uganda. Also present at the event was the former Vice President, Dr. Specioza Wandera Kazibwe, who informed residents of her ongoing campaign in Busoga aimed at combating malaria.
If you were to take all the people here, you would find over 80% of them have malaria. So we are actually the granaries of malaria, and we are working with the communities to make sure that we go home to home, testing every individual, treating everybody with malaria, and making sure that we actually also spray the mosquitoes around.
Honorable Kauma Sauda expressed her gratitude to President Museveni for the transformation of the country.
Government, our right honorable, His Excellency, Yakuwa Power, Erosala Obusale, Kaiba Bakasa, Bobuloka, President, Daiwe Million, Munana, Leda, Parish Development Model, Mamwediri, Lechon, Honorable Peter.
However, she voiced concern over financial mismanagement by the Iganga Lockup Owners Savings Circle, which allegedly embezzled over 800 million shillings, part of it being parish development model savings meant for women. This revelation drew the Prime Minister's immediate attention, prompting her to instruct police to arrest all SACCO administrators involved in the scandal.
First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, met with the Netherlands ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Frederike Quispel, to discuss potential collaboration in education and skills development. The meeting took place during a courtesy call by Ambassador Quispel at State House Nakasero. Judith Adokorach, Policy Officer for Sexual Reproductive Health and Rights, accompanied by the ambassador, met at the venue. The First Lady and Netherlands ambassador underscored addressing menstrual health to keep girls in school, with Mrs. Museveni proposing collaboration on providing sanitary pads to students.
Refugee communities, while stressing the importance of including host communities in refugee programs to promote harmony, advocating for increased focus on vocation training and early childhood development in refugee areas.
You can also look at skilling. It would be good because the refugees are becoming more by the day, and certainly many of them are young people. If they can get some skills to live by, it is good. But we just need to plan it so well so that it brings in both the refugees and the host communities.
The ambassador pledged to support the Ministry of Education in its various programs of uplifting the girl child and refugees.
And very much focused on sanitary pads. We have a Dutch company here that's called AfriPads. It's the biggest reusable sanitary pad company in the whole of Africa, and they're here in Uganda.
Okay.
And we really want to try and get them involved with civil society organizations together to get the best from the business community and the best from the civil society community to make sure that we help as many girls as possible to stay in school for as long as they can. So if we can work together here, Mama would be very honored and very, very happy.
In another development, the First Lady met with His Excellency Upenda Singh, the High Commission of India to Uganda, to review progress on establishing the National Forensic Science University campus in Uganda. Mrs. Museveni thanked the Indian High Commissioner for India's ongoing cooperation with Uganda and the scholarships provided to Ugandan students, and expressed Uganda's gratitude for the campus establishment, while emphasizing the importance of following proper legal procedures to ensure global recognition.
So allow us just a little more time, and we work with the Ministry of Defense, and we work with the Attorney General and the National Council for Higher Education and the Ministry of Education, and we see how quickly we can bring everything right, so that, if possible, we start a course by the end of this year.
The Commissioner stressed the urgency of finalizing legal and accreditation frameworks, proposing ad hoc accreditation to prevent further delays.
We offer 140 scholars to Uganda in civilian area and about 75-80 in defense area. So right now our focus is civilian. These scholarships are not for students, these are for the people who are already working in public sector or even private sector, and they want to go to India for short-term skill enhancement courses in any area of expertise.
While noting the current laws prevent ad hoc accreditation, the National Council of Higher Education committed to approvals. India provides over 200 scholarships annually to Ugandans, covering both academic degrees and short-term professional training. Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
The Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, has commemorated or commended people to remain strong and pray for him during the time, or he has thanked people that prayed for him during the time that he was out of the country for treatment. This was contained in his message delivered by the Katikiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, during the celebration mass of his 70th birthday held at Lubaga Cathedral.
Thousands from different parts of Buganda, Uganda and outside thronged Lubaga Cathedral to attend the historical prayers for the 70th birthday of Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II. The mass was led by the Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese, Paul Semogirire.
Ayi Ssaabasajja, tuvuganya essanyu olw'okusiima ojagulize wamu n'Obuganda amazaalibwa ago ag'ensanvu wano ku lusozi Lubaga.
The Archbishop Semogirire says the Kabaka's birthday signifies unity and advised all people to unite despite their different political affiliations.
Buganda nalyo linnya lya Kabaka litegeeza bumu. Waliwo amalala agagendera okwo mangi ddala. Empagi Sserugattika, Ssaabataka ne nannyini nsi. Kabaka waatali Obuganda tebubaawo. Yafuye Abaganda atandikira ku Bwakabaka. Eky'omukisa omulungi, Obwakabaka Abaganda bubali mu musaayi. Buli lwe tukuŋŋaanira ku Ssaabasajja tuba twenyumiriza ku kubeera Abaganda n'okunyweza obumu.
He applauded His Majesty for welcoming all religions to exercise their beliefs in his kingdom and condemned some people with their own intentions for dividing Buganda.
Obuganda bussaamu Katonda ekitiibwa n'okumwebaza olw'okuwangaaza Ssaabasajja emyaka 7. Ani yali amanyi abakyamu nga baayogera? Katonda tumwebaza okubasirisa. Katonda waffe yeebazibwe agulumizibwe twongere okuwonga n'okujaganya Katonda awangaze Ssaabasajja.
In his message delivered by the Buganda Katikkiro Charles Peter Mayiga, His Majesty the Kabaka Ronald Mwenda Mutebi II commended people for remaining strong during the time he was out of the country.
His Majesty the Kabaka directed me to thank all of you for your constant prayers that have seen him through challenging times. He directed me to appreciate his medical teams here and abroad for their constant care and attention. Our vision is to reposition the kingdom at the helm of social and economic well-being, with all people fully enjoying their freedoms and rights. That vision is attainable if we appreciate our cultural heritage, if we strive to attain a federal system of government, if we protect our lands and kingdom boundaries, if we work hard, and when we remain united.
Katikkiro Mayiga emphasized that during the Kabaka Mutebi's reign, a lot have been achieved in different sectors of health, agriculture, education, among others.
Kabaka's birthdays, this is the second theme, since 2014, are celebrated as we highlight healthy issues that require our attention. The Kabaka's birthday itself is always organized to fight a common health problem. Kabaka Mutesa Health Center 4 at Mityana was commissioned by Nali Nyakagere in line with that theme. The fourth theme is about agriculture, and we all know that agriculture is the mainstay of the vast majority of the homesteads in Buganda. The Kabaka has severally called upon us to ensure that every household has sufficient food, and the Mwanterimba campaign was started to repopularize coffee growing to fight poverty. Handing over tractors was to reiterate the central role of agriculture in people's lives and to symbolize the need to transition to semi-mechanized and fully mechanized farming methods.
On behalf of the youth in my community and Uganda at large, I want to pledge to my king that we shall lead them well and we shall represent.
The Nabagereka of Buganda, Sylvia Najinda, royal family, Buganda ministers, former Vice President Edward Sekandi, members of parliament, among other dignitaries in various capacities, attended the mass. Sebira Andrew compiled this report for UBC News.
The Assistant Administrator, Lubaga Cathedral Reverend Father Anthony Musala, has rallied Ugandans to embrace a spirit of love and forgiveness. Father Musala made this call during his Palm Sunday homily at Lubaga Cathedral.
Sunday, the final Sunday before Easter, commemorates the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem. At Lubaga Cathedral, hundreds of Catholics turned up for this Christian feast, which marks the beginning of the Holy Week. Father Anthony Musala, who was the main celebrant of the morning mass, began by blessing palms for the Christians. In his homily, he began by preaching about love and forgiveness for one another.
Yesu ye Kabaka owo kwagala. He is the King of love and mercy. Tafugisa mundu, tafugisa buyinza sente, afugisa kwagala. Owooluganda yaniriza Kabaka oyo Yesu mbulamu bwe olwaleero. Ne Uganda yaffe yonna eyanirize Kabaka oyo ow'okwagala. Kubanga okwagala kugenda kukendeera mu ggwanga lyaffe.
Father Musala also urged government and Ugandans to reflect on the pastoral letter which was issued recently by the Uganda Episcopal Conference, calling for an end to political intolerance, corruption, and other forms of injustices.
Ekyennyamiza ennyo ky'ekyokutwala batali b'amagye mu kkooti ez'amagye. Kkooti ensukkulumu eya Uganda juuzi yalamula n'egamba nti enkola eyo eri mu bumenyi bwa ssemateeka ya Uganda, n'eragira nti abo batwalibwe mu kkooti eza bulijjo. Tukubiriza gavumenti obutalwisa ekyo.
The day's message resonated deeply with some of the faithfuls who attended the Mass at Lubaga Cathedral.
We should reconcile and we should understand better that we are the one who welcomed Jesus, Hosanna, Hosanna, and we are the one with these little hours, we are the one who are saying, let him be nailed on the cross.
In ancient times, waving palms was a sign of honor and respect for a king or a conqueror, but the use of palms on this day reflects recognition of Jesus as the King of Kings.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, is concerned over the use of money to bribe voters during the elections and campaign periods, which he has termed as promoting open corruption. He was delivering the Palm Sunday sermon at the Church of the Resurrection in Bugolobi, Kampala.
Every year Christians gathered their respective places of worship to commemorate Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday is that day when Jesus Christ made triumphant entry into Jerusalem, at the time that preceded his arrest and crucifixion. Praise and worship was the order adopted by Christians after Jesus' resurrection. At Church of the Resurrection in Bugolobi, His Grace Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu celebrated Palm Sunday service. Archbishop Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu warned the Ugandans that ahead of the general elections, Ugandans should shun money offered to buy votes.
All these politicians are flattered because of money. After a politician fails, you never see the people going home to see the human flattering. Praise not good. It's full of hypocrisy, lying, cheating. Now, this is the time for lobbying now. I want to be a minister of finance, actually. If you put me here, and my brother on the left could be maybe a vice president, that is it, as we need. Lobbying. People of one family, they want an office. People of one tribe, they want office. These things started a long time ago.
In his sermon on the people who betrayed Jesus Christ, Kazimba was concerned over the ongoing child abuse in the country.
You may think people are following Jesus or they come to church because they love Jesus. Some others have different agendas. I was told they want to have a decent burial. Why are you suing the church? Because you are not elected? What have you been getting out of that? Is this service or power, prestige, position? That shouldn't be your aim. Those of you who are not so sure of the future, there is Jesus who can take care of your details. Disappointment, sicknesses, oppression, powers of darkness.
Meanwhile, at All Saints Cathedral, Nakasero, Christians gathered to celebrate Palm Sunday service. There was praise and worship from Christians, thanking God for enabling them to reach this day. The guest preacher, Venerable Olivia Ofombogo from Nigeria, urged Christians to stick unto the Lord.
It's not yet over for your children. You may not know, no matter where they are. It's not yet over. Don't lose hope. Forget what has been happening in the past. Your husband will not know you again. Your wife will not. For all the disease, don't worry.
Venerable Ofombogo also encouraged them to allow God to use their lives so that they can bring change in everything they do.
Young men and women like you are now, old men and old women like you are now, that He's going to use us and enter the political scene, enter government, enter the security, enter the education system,
Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
And from St. Gonzagoza, Kamuli Parish in Chireka, Kira Municipality, Reverend Father John Baptist Matovu called upon the faithful to be firm in faith. This was during the Palm Sunday to commemorate Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem.
At St. Paul Cathedral, Namirembe, Reverend Jonathan Chisauzi Salongo urged Christians to be exemplary and live a life similar to that of Jesus Christ.
Bukyatubeera mu nsi muno era bukyatwegatta ku muwendo gw'abo abakkiriza era abajaguza n'okutendereza n'okwebaza Katonda olw'omwana oyo Yesu eyayingira mu Yerusaalemi nga bwe tujjukira olwaleero ng'abantu basaakaanya n'okujaganya n'okuwuba ensansa nga bagamba nti ozaana. N'olwekyo nga twegasse ku muwendo ogwo njagala weesuneko okubeera nti okyali omu ku abo abawulira by'owulira n'okulaba by'olaba.
First of all,
I
would like to wish all Christians that are watching us now a happy Palm Sunday. Welcome back from church. Palm Sunday is a very instrumental aspect in the Christian life. We're remembering the triumphal entry of Christ in Jerusalem when the Jews were waiting for a Messiah, someone that would deliver the Roman persecution. And when Jesus Christ came, they never expected that the Messiah would be Christ, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
The Christians for Palm Sunday today. Actually, the church has been very full and very vibrant, and we really enjoy it. We want to thank mostly our Reverend for bringing all the Christians together.
Whereas at St. Paul Church of Uganda, Okuvu, in Chinawataka, the congregants hailed the milestone of their church and called upon fellow Christians to share the love of Christ.
Today has been a very tremendous day for us. Being a Palm Sunday, we are so grateful to our Lord Jesus Christ who sacrificed his life for our sins. That is the importance of the Palm Sunday to us when he entered into Jerusalem with joy and everybody celebrated.
St. Paul Church of Uganda, Okuvu.
Okuvu looks for money to acquire Costa. The reason why Okuvu is looking for the Costa is this. We are a small church. The church that began some years back by women, and the purpose of it was to cater for people that hailed from West Nile. But right now we gather quite a number of people from various places of this country, and we are trusting God that when we acquire this Costa, we shall be able to offer these services at a subsidized cost to the people that we serve here at St. Paul's Okuvu. So I would like to call upon you, our friends, the honorable members of parliament, we call upon you to come and support us. Our friends that hail from West Nile, our friends that hail from northern Uganda, our friends that come from every part of this country, we call upon you to come and support us.
Okuvu Church of Uganda, that was started in the 70s, congregates communities from the West Nile region and northern Uganda. Marion Awori and Philip Aguta for UBC.
In a groundbreaking launch, Ivan Samuel has introduced the online version of Briefcase of Truth, a book authored by Yahweh Ella Shaddai. Briefcase of Truth reflects and sparks discussions and reflections on the nature of faith and spirituality.
His triumphal entry into Jerusalem, just days before his death, and Christians celebrate the day with processions, carrying palm leaves in churches.
Hosanna, Yesu Kristu. Hosanna, aja mulinya y'omukama. Hosanna, wakuleyo.
At St. Gonzaga Kamuli Parish in Chireka, Kira Municipality, Reverend Father John Baptist Matovu led the Sunday Mass while praising the determination of Jesus despite knowing about his death.
So this is a procession of joy. Jesus carefully planned this event. It was carefully planned because even he tells the people, go, you will find somewhere called, bring it, and then after bringing it, he lay upon it, and then he processed. and went to Jerusalem. This was an act, according to the Jews, it was an act of defiance. We have been hearing from the Gospels these days, the previous days, when Jesus is saying his hour had not yet done what? Had not yet come. Now, his hour is coming. And this is why Jesus is doing this deliberately.
The early morning mass was characterized by hymns chanting Hosanna to celebrate Jesus' triumphal entry to the holy city of Jerusalem.
Hosanna, 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 Hosanna.
In the Christian calendar, Palm Sunday marks the last week of Lent, which is a time when lots of people give up something they love for 40 days. It also marks the start of Holy Week, which includes the Good Friday reenactment of Jesus' crucifixion story and death, and the belief in Jesus' resurrection on Easter. Bernard Higa, UBC.
We do beg your pardon. That was a story from St. Goza Kamuli Parish in Chireka Municipality, where Reverend Father John Baptist Matovu called upon the faithful to be firm in faith. And now, in a groundbreaking launch, Ivan Samuel has introduced the online version of Briefcase of Truth, a book authored by Yahweh Ella Shaddai. Briefcase of Truth reflects and sparks discussions and reflections on the nature of faith and spirituality.
The book tackles topics on the resurrection day of Jesus Christ, the relationship between Jesus and God, and the omnipresence of God.
God is omnipresent. So even here, God is here. So if he wants to speak to you, he speaks to you from here. So I did not meet God anywhere, but God met me where I am.
The Briefcase of Truth promises to give readers knowledge and understanding of the world's major religions.
There is a difference between Christianity and Christianity. Christianity is a Greek myth. The Greeks thought that God is called Christopher and was going to give a birth to a son called Christ. So Christianity comes from Christopher. But the true religion of God comes from Christ. So it is supposed to be Christian, not Christian, which comes from Christopher. So Christopher was thought to be God in the Greek mythology.
This book explores challenges in different beliefs and invites readers to re-examine their understanding of the divinity.
None of us is in contradiction with any religion. People are free to believe what they want. Belief is a choice. You either believe or you don't believe. If you want to believe, you believe. If you want to be a Muslim, be a Muslim. If you want to be a Christian, be a Christian. If you want to be a Judaist, be a Judaist. The choice is yours. Belief is a personal choice.
In his closing remarks, Ivan Sechide noted that the book aligns with Christianity belief, and that explains as to why it has been launched on the Palm Sunday.
That's why we have launched today. And the reason why we are launching on Easter Monday is because we also believe in the Easter.
Kawanguzi Paul, Kalisha Stephen, UBC.
Kama nemo pocket, tambula body street, shoes are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission. Internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. Oro cash is gone, netaga yo kaloni, nigga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. We are good.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
I'd like to thank all our clients, our valued taxpayers, the people that we serve as we collect revenue for building our nation. I thank you very much for the questions you have sent through this program of Buza Commissioner. On behalf of URA, I would like to pledge that we are committed and we will continue to answer all the questions that you ask through this platform. The whole purpose for this program is to ensure that your pain points, your questions are efficiently responded to. So I would like to encourage all our taxpayers who have questions to ask to please utilize this program that we are running on UBC, that will be receiving your questions through the numbers that you've been given, and URA will be available to answer these questions every Monday and every Wednesday during the 8 o'clock news bulletin. And then on Sunday, after the news, we'll have a full response to all the questions that will have come in during the week. I thank UBC for supporting us in reaching our taxpayers, and I thank our taxpayers for responding positively to this program. Thank you very much.
Buza Commissioner.
And more in our news tonight, the High Commissioner of Uganda to the Republic of Tanzania, Fred Mwesigye, has hailed the founding fathers of the East African community and urged members of the East African community member states to embrace Kiswahili language as a unifying factor. The ambassador was speaking at a dinner held at Kololo Independence Grounds ahead of the International Kiswahili Conference.
For enabling Dr. Kisembo to fulfill our dream of making sure that we hold this Kongomano here to tell the world, to tell Africa, because we are going to tell the world that we love Tanzania, we love Mwalimu Nyerere, we love our Tanzania, and we love Swahili.
Young men and women are exposed to the Kiswahili language in their very early years as one of the ways that will be utilized to spur development. Remember that language properly used and deployed is a multi-billion-dollar economy in its own right.
Today we are here to celebrate the birthday of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, the former president and the founder of Tanzania, who fought hardly to push for the rights and formation of Kiswahili language. This is impactful because we are pushing for the East African community, whereby we have Kiswahili language as a unifying factor or as a unifying language, whereby we know that we need a unifying language, and that's Kiswahili. Then we bring in the common currency, then we will bring in now the common political federation. So today is very good for East African countries, a function that has brought all countries in East Africa to celebrate and commemorate the birthday of the former and the founder of Tanzania, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. And this is also a time when we are setting off our journey to the Kiswahili International Conference that takes place from tomorrow here in Kololo, and it will take 3 days, whereby we shall have different dignitaries speaking about the role of Kiswahili language, the impact it has in East Africa.
We need one language, one language, one love. So when we embrace teaching Kiswahili in schools, our children will be able to love Africa, speak the same language, that is Kiswahili. That means we are all together, we are all Africans, and that's what we call Pan-Africanism.
Lakini leo kama sijaongea mengi, wacha kwanza nishukuru Daktari Chisembo. Daktari Chisembo, tusimame juu hapo.
The State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, has ordered the division of 20 acres of disputed land between Hoima Catholic Diocese and Chigulia Primary School in Masindi Municipality. The decision follows the minister's findings that the land in question is government-owned and neither party has a title deed.
LC3 chairman of Chigulia Sub-County Kutegeka Wilfred informed the minister that Chigulia Primary School received the land as a donation from the Byebandwa family in 1971. It was officially converted into government school in 1981. However, in 2009, the Catholic Church laid claim to the land already occupied by the school.
Minister, even as we are sitting here, the major confusion is arising from that ruling because the school did not participate in the matter in the court. They accused some people and again they gave up the land to the church, and yet the school management is like, we are not hurt. All the governments which have been done here basically started with the community, and then the government will have also been giving a lot of aid.
School committee chairman Businge Christopher said he has been denied the right to build or develop on the land.
Have a feeding project funded by Action Aid and providing moderate lunch to our children, but it was disrupted by Katongole Joseph, Father Byaruhanga Aloysius of St. Jude, and some church members over the claim of land ownership.
Father Aloysius Byaruhanga of St. Jude's Parish under the Hoima Catholic Diocese, along with Michael Anima, responsible for church land and development, denied any existing land dispute with the school.
We have no problem with the government at all. But the controversy we are in, we are with the individual people, but not the government.
To lobby for some NGOs to come, but the issue of the land conflict has always been a problem.
The meeting, which led to the resolution, was attended by Minister Mayanja, Senior Presidential Advisor on Special Duties Fiona Barungi, and Minister for Children Balam Barugahara. Minister Balam Barugahara appealed for a land share between the school and the church, a proposal distributed by Father Byaruhanga.
I am not the trustees. I'm not the trustees at all. The trustees are there. So, in any case, when we talk of the community, the Catholic Church is the community.
Ultimately, Minister Mayanja ruled that since neither party holds a title, government will conduct a land survey and divide the 20 acres equally.
So it is still public land. So the decision, and we adopted the proposal of Honorable Balam that let them take 50-50. And the directive is that the procedure of public land to be allocated to individuals shall be followed. Because ideally that land cannot be given, is not available to the district land board to be given because they are already people to any personal authority.
Essomero lifiiriddwa chances nyingi okuva mu government.
Nanyo kisupportinga nuko kituleetera obusinge ekyakye eri yaitu n'essomero liri lyaitu.
Kubanga bebadde bitutamye ekyo kibaire kirungi muno nyowe nkisagikire nkisembere nkwetaaga.
Later, Minister Mayanja proceeded to Nyamigisa Sub-County at Bizi Matters Catholic Church, where Godfrey Bitatule reportedly sold the school playground.
Katandika kusoma bizi hano lukumulwenda nkaga na musanju. Ekisaye ekyo nikyo twazaniramuka. Naguno gwaka. Kira muna muto wange Bitatule ayazairwe nkaga na munana ndo P2 uija kugamba teita keruli. 2. Bitatule ali musajja muzibu aikaire na buzabuza ekoti
Residents also raised alarm about evictions in Chikwanana village, where a woman, Miss Birungi Nancy Kombi, is accused of attempting to forcefully remove people from 480 acres of land.
Era gye nsobola okubawa kiteri muntu agenda kubagoba ku ttaka ne bwe banaabanga basinze emisango as per the presidential directive on eviction alina process gy'alina okuyitamu.
Minister Mayanja directed the RDC and DPC pensive to Kasime to arrest Godfrey Bitatule.
Bitatule threatened violence. That is a criminal charge. President yakamba chaubona tubakwate kakati nkulagira DPC towa warrant of arrest munonye wonna wali akwatibwe amiricha. The directives, that's what I did first. Gave them the land rights from the constitution, the constitutional provision, the authority of the constitution, the authority of the president, the constitutional provisions for land ownership, and the directives of the president. The directives come in because of the Bibanja holders. The 9 titled were always harassed by the titled. Yet both of them should have the right on the land, which protects them. Protecting the title holder, protecting the untitled Chwanja holder, protecting the public land.
Meanwhile, children of the late Bincha Ephraim, led by their Daudi Simbwe, challenged Bitatule's claims, asserting that their father's will did not recognize him.
Maybe he had taken some things little for his throat, but as a matter of fact, the playground where the land where the playground is has never, is not, and will never be part of a family land. I speak and act on behalf of the Ephraim Bienka family, who happens to be my father and the father to the person who is claiming that the playground is his.
Benon Mokwaya, Jamil Sakaja, UBC News.
The president of Uganda Pharmaceutical Students Association, Masumba Isaac, drug stockouts affect regional. In a vibrant, the president of the Uganda Pharmaceutical Students Association, Masumba Isaac, drug stockouts affect regional and national hospitals, he says. Uganda's health sector suffers delayed supplies, thefts, expiries, and poor distribution, worsened by inadequate storage, driving up the costs and forcing patients to private facilities.
Uganda's health sector continues to grapple due to consistent drug stockouts, delayed medical supplies, inefficiencies in distribution, and lack of infrastructure to manage and store essential medicines, among others. These have rendered the healthcare system so expensive as most Ugandans fail to meet the huge costs to secure services from private health facilities. Lack of essential medicines and equipment in local health facilities have led to overcrowding in both regional and national referral hospitals, which piles pressure beyond their holding capacities.
This creates a gap to the local people down there from receiving medication and leads to increased diseases due to lack of treatment, leading to deaths.
To mitigate these challenges, the Ministry of Health is working on several strategies aiming at deploying digital health systems to track medicines and healthcare supplies in real time to crack down drug thefts and wastages.
We want to bring in the system that is Global Standards 1, which we call GSI 1, whereby we are able to track these commodities right from the manufacturer up to the user. But where we have reached now, we are at the warehouse.
In her speech read by Dr. Martha Grace Ajulong, Commissioner of Health Services, Pharmaceuticals and Natural Products at the 5th Uganda Pharmaceutical Symposium at Kampala International University in Bushenyi District, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, the Minister for Health, says these systems are tailored to track medicines right away from manufacturer to end user, such that when there are certain side effects caused by a certain drug, they can easily know.
We are able to track the QR codes of those commodities. But with in future, we hope to move to the health facilities and have these commodities tracked in the health facilities. But we want to know up to the user who is having this medicine.
She also noted that universal health coverage is one of the core objectives of Uganda's health sector, as it aims to ensure that every Ugandan has access to essential health services without suffering financial hardship.
We also need to have the health technologies available for us to achieve this. Because if we are not having the health technologies available, we can have our medicines being going to waste.
Held under the theme Prioritizing Supply Chain in the Changing Global Policies, Research, Innovation, Digitalization of Health and Advocacy for Unity among Pharmacists and Medical Officers, pharmacists asked the Ministry of Health to fast-track clinical trials for their medicines to fill gaps whenever drug stockouts hit.
So far, most of them have made the products which are undergoing tests, and we are requesting government to support them so that we create more drugs that will cover the gap in supply chain.
That is going to cover a large segment in the economic sector of this country by first of all creating employment activities, but also bringing new products on the market that solve the challenges and problems of different human beings.
And in a vibrant show of community spirit and youth empowerment, the Kakuto constituency in Chotera district lit up with excitement during the Kaka Ismail Lubega Sports Gala. The gala identified and promoted talent among the youth.
By Kaka Ismail Lubega Uthman drew teams for 4 villages of Minziro Parish, Mabale, Chigazi, Kampaji and Chisakala, all under Chebe sub-county. Chisakala failed to show up, leaving Mabale to face Chigazi in a highly anticipated final. Mabale clinched the championship with a narrow 1-0 win.
Lwachokkiriza bajulira abaafanga gokyali mulamu onalebo Kaka ekyo kiyaze okusaanyaawo alina kye yeekoledde awagire Kaka.
Kaka Ismail Lubega Uthman also recognized the runner-up Chigazi and semi-finalist Kampanji.
Munyambe buyambi buli ali wano waddayo ewaka abadde alimu akakunkuna ayimbaani omukyala nange n'abaana n'omukozi akalulukaani.
We arranged this sports gala in Minziro Parish to celebrate Kabaka's birthday. We thank God that everything has gone well. Don't forget to thank our government, NRM government, which led by the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for the peace he brought to our country. Because without peace, we cannot arrange such celebrations in our country.
Kaka Ismail Lubega reaffirmed his dedication to youth empowerment and community development.
We have managed to provide sports jersey to all the teams which participated in this tournament with the footballs. So we thank Allah, we thank God. Our main objective or our main aim for these sports galas, we want to search or we want to fetch the talents in our constituency, Kakuto County constituency.
Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
And in our second episode about the Rwanda genocide, tonight we look at the critical insights surrounding the events from the root causes and early warning signs through the unfolding horrors to the final days of the atrocity. More details in this story.
The ancestors of the Hutu and the Tutsi settled in the region for many years, gradually uniting to form a sophisticated Rwandan state. They shared a single language in Rwanda, embraced philosophical values, and fostered a rich culture of songs, dance, poetry, and rhetorics. Remarkably, even during the genocide, both sides continued to honor same heroes, a testament to their deep-rooted shared heritage. Originally, the Tutsis own wealthy cattle, while the Hutu are purely farmers. This was never a strict divide. Physical traits overlapped, and many Hutus who resembled Tutsis were killed during the genocide. The situation deteriorated with the arrival of European colonizers, who institutionalized ethnic divisions through formal identification and registration. The labels Hutu, Tutsi, Twa were inscribed on identity cards, cementing previously fluid social categories. This woman recalls some of the pivotal moments.
One of the key moments I learned of from my parents when I was a child is when the Belgian colonialists decided to introduce a national ID in Rwanda. And first of all, they had the word race on the identity card. While Rwandans were all black, but all same color, but the identity card said race, and Hutu or Tutsi or Twa were considered races. They were categorized based on how many cows each person had. If you have more than 10 cows, you're considered a Tutsi. If you had less than 10 cows, you are considered a Hutu. The words existed before, but they had a different meaning. So from introducing that in the ID, now it was easy to know who is what.
The genocide is an activity which can be supported by the government. Our government supported genocide during 1959.
Initially, the Europeans aligned closely with the Tutsis, offering them education and positions of influence. However, behind the scenes, they sowed seeds of resentment among the Hutu, promoting a narrative that blamed the Tutsis for their hardships and social inequality. Amid growing UN pressure, Belgium began promoting Hutu inclusion in governance and education.
The Belgians convinced the peasants, the general people, that they are being oppressed by the small group who are holding the kingship.
By 1959, many Hutu held key administrative roles, and their children were entering schools in greater numbers. This shift threatened Tutsis' dominancy and fell short of meeting Tutsis' expectations. I'm Bantu Machawe Sema.
And on that note, we come to the end of our news tonight. Thank you very much for being a lovely audience. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and allow me to wish you a lovely week.